This episode of Speakers of Eidolon is made possible by our generous patrons. Special thanks to our Supreme and Master Speakers, Circa Barakeel, Remy Azalea, Saray Cypher, Omega Cat Comet, Erisu Yamakawa, Arcadia Lunashine, Dramavian, Nina Grimsdaughter, Casey Schaefer, Dimos, Lily Black, Hans Grenade, Sapa Chakwatol, Faris Gentoru, Cletus Oreo, Quick Levin, Luclean Atrell, Stella Bell, Ceres, Icy Lee, Lyria Rain, Pamela Isley, Umbral Wind, Naive Arano, Celeste Rasgris, Elenriel Maximus, Edwin, Bob CC, Fabson Voidworm, Raimi Maverick, Codred No, Mira Miri, Winebow Brood, Bay Barbalay, Kaiser Regina, Uzora Akari, AJ Brainswordson, Suno Shikano, Yowie Wowie, Cheshire Saltiri, Gideon Ura, Buster Gearhold, and Nat Clay. Support the show and become a patron today at patreon.com/speakersxiv. Thank you.
This is Speakers of Eidolon.
Good evening, Aorcians. Welcome to Speakers of Eidolon, episode 219. I'm Lakeel Bravestone, and I'm joined today by Georgi Wiston and Rollo Des. Now, I will explain what I look like. Georgi, first, let people simmer in the mystery for a little bit longer. What are you?
Well, I'm wearing Wild Tiger's hat from Tiger and Bunny, but that's about all I did.
Rollo is here as Rollo.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I got
No.
a plaid on.
No, you're here as
Jon
Jon Snow, because you're wearing the Jon Snow,
yes.
Yeah, yeah. You know nothing, Jon Snow.
I am Jon Ho. I don't know.
Yeah. I am Lakeel. Old Lakeel. You know when you have an idea and then it doesn't turn out the way you think? Actually, to be fair, this happened 5 minutes before we went live. This is like a last minute thing. I should have been Picard, remember? I should have been Picard today. So there you go. Right, welcome to Speakers of Eidolon episode 219. It is October 31st. It's Halloween. We have some stuff for you. Nothing scary today. But actually, we do have that for the post show. Because well, I'll tell you what we have for the main show. I'm more excited for the post show. Main topics. We'll be reading the Banri Oda interview done by the dev blog. And we'll discuss two interviews. Well, it's one interview split into two articles where Yoshi-P talks about potential crossovers in 14. And if there's time, MogMail. Now, in the post show, we'll be reading questions from the Syndicate. Okay, I'll need to mute that. In questions from the Syndicate, in the post show, we'll be reading questions from the Syndicate, but we will also be reading a creepypasta. And it is a creepypasta penned by Rollo Des. So make sure you catch that as well. What have we done this week in 14? Who wants to start? I will start. I keep asking that, but it isn't a question. I will just pick one.
No, it's not.
Rollo.
So I got Dragoon to 80 recently.
Ooh.
That's enjoyable. You don't really gotta do positions anymore in a lot of fights, huh?
No.
No.
They are.
Oh, yeah, Rollo is quiet again.
What if I get closer?
Yeah, fine.
Yeah, a lot of fights just don't have positions anymore. They're just like, fuck it. It has the ring circle instead of the one with the open back. So
yeah,
not every fight. There's still a lot of dungeons you still have to, do your positions on. But sometimes it's just no.
Yeah.
Other than that, Dragoon's fun. High jump. I wish every jump was as quick as high jump. or whatever. That's fucking. I love it.
Yeah.
I never thought it was possible to make the jumps like feel snappy, but I did it. So that was impressive. It's all right. It's a good melee DPS. I'm working on Monk next because I gotta know, and I like playing jobs that are bad too. That's
yeah,
fun.
Yeah, and you have to do it now before they change it. There's
Exactly.
a big change coming out.
That's what I did with Machinist, and I was like, wow, this fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Not too much. Just more Bozjan.
Do you have the relic yet?
Rank 10. No, I think I have enough on my alt with how much we've done Bozja.
Yeah. I have the first step of it. I need to do the second step. Which do I? So here's the actual real question: how do I get the second part items in Bozja? Do I just do skirmishes, or is it critical engagements, or is it Castrum? Does anyone know? Because you get like bitter memories or something for the second step, and you can either do 6 anti-tower runs, or they just drop. Just kill stuff.
Yeah, I think you just kill everything, and then I think that's why a lot of people are doing sprite farms right now.
I see. Okay, right. I see.
By the way, do I sound better?
Oh, that is much better.
Yes,
yes,
much better.
Yeah,
there we go.
Okay, right. So, Georgi, what have you done?
I mean, I've been doing a little bit of Bozja this week. I have to say, once you finish the story in Bozja, I've sort of lost a little bit of motivation to like cap out my rank, but I'm still there for the relic. I've also been putting off leveling any melee classes because those are the only ones I have left. I've got 4 jobs left to level to 80, and I don't want to touch any of them.
You gonna do it in Bozja for the sick XP?
Well, you have to get them to do you have them?
They are
70?
Actually, no. None of them are at 71. Samurai's the closest.
Okay.
I might try and do it with Samurai soon.
Okay. I haven't done much either, I think. No. Well, except for getting the relic part done. I think that's all I've done this week. And what we did on Wednesday, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's just jump into recent events. There's stuff to discuss. Let's get into that. SSDs. We have them.
Hell yeah.
We love them. And now 14 is getting one. It's not an internal SSD, by the way. It's an external SSD connecting with a USB 3. 3.1 or is it 3.0? I don't know.
It's got that weird, if you remember the old Samsung phones had that port.
Yeah.
It was weird. I'm sure it's faster, I guess.
I think it is faster. I think because it's got more things in the connector. But it's your old-fashioned USB 3. It's not USB-C. Imagine it's the one that has the divot on the ones like in it. It's hard to explain. I've seen very few current like products with that port. But hey,
like I said, just Samsung phone. That's all I've seen them on.
Yeah.
And those were older ones.
I have an old like first gen 3.0 USB hard drive that uses that interface. But it is but that's like when that was new, when that was like breaking news. The clock, Eric, is ordered. I'm waiting for it. I don't know what to do with it. I can't hang it up on the wall. So I'll just have a Speakers of Heidelin clock, I guess. Anyways, sorry. So yeah, the hard drive is 500 gigabytes. It's very strange. This whole product feels like it was 6 years too late. Like it's
6 years too late.
5. Like I wouldn't go 10 years because 10 years ago an SSD hard drive would be pretty cool. I don't even
An
know.
SSD external 10 years ago? I would say an SSD external even 5 years ago is pretty, like, not that common still.
5 years.
It's weird.
It's weird. It's using that like the hard drive that I have that uses that interface must be older than 14, I think. So yeah. Anyways, you can get it on the Japanese store. So
it's about like $90 too.
Yeah.
Which isn't like bad if it was a good 500 gigabyte hard drive, I would say. You get a nice M2 one instead, but
I think we have to mention the little diagram, the thing that they put in this article. It's my favorite part, showing this is what makes it feel so dated. They have that like the speed comparison between SSD and hard drive. In 2020, we don't need that anymore. We know that SSD is faster than a hard drive, but hey, it's cute.
It's external though. That's so weird. Why?
Yeah.
I would just want, like, if they had to make some fucking PC component merch for 14, I'd just be like, okay, it's the internal part. There's a little like meteor logo on it, maybe, or maybe there's some like I don't know, stencil art or something.
Yeah,
it's like it's just a little block. Where am I gonna put this shit?
Just make a USB drive.
Yeah, make a thumb drive. Yeah, they could just do that, I guess. I mean, this is very... Yeah, I don't know where to put it. Anyways, you can get it. It's got some nice box art. It's got that Shadowbringers box art with the Crystal Tower in the background.
Yeah. All the white-haired characters.
Yeah. The packaging of the Final Fantasy XIV SSD features key characters from the game, including Y'shtola, Thancred, Oriandre, Alphinaud, and Alisaie. Furthermore, the SSD itself has an original design that includes... The SSD itself has an original design that includes the Final Fantasy XIV logo on it. The SSD works with USB, so it isn't necessary to install it inside the desktop.
This isn't necessary. It isn't possible. I mean, I guess it is possible, but I feel like you're defeating the purpose of it at that point because you'll need to disassemble it.
Yeah. Also, this is right below the graphic showing the speed thing, and I have to read this part as well. It reads as if this is 10 years ago. Square Enix did some testing for the occasion, and what better way than to test out the speed of Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers on the storage device. As expected of a solid-state drive, the loading times are much lower compared to the standard HDD installed onto a PC. When Square Enix tested out the SSD from I/O data, it clocked in about 14 seconds to load up Shadowbringers. On the other hand, a PC with a regular hard drive took more than double the time, with about 30 seconds for the same load. Whoa!
When's the last time it took you 30 seconds to load 14 from the launcher?
Not even when I played on my laptop, because I has an M2 drive on there.
30 seconds is a long time.
That's like
a long time to load
PS3,
a game.
Well, not as bad as PS3.
Well, to load 14.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. You can get the SSD if you want it. Maybe you need something to put screenshots on. If you need a dedicated screenshots drive, maybe you can have that.
For an SSD.
For like, yeah, I don't know. Are you going to install the game on a portable drive, and then you one day like accidentally unplug it, and then you're like mid-game, and you're like, uh-oh, corrupted all my files, everything's fucked. I don't know. I don't know if I would want to do that, but whatever.
It just might be for someone, who knows.
Yeah.
Tell us if you're using it.
I mean, the fact that it's SSD doesn't really matter. Like, SSD is the future. That's right. I said it. I said it here. You heard it first on Speakers of Eidolon.
Invest in SSD.
Invest in SSD. It would be weird for them to like release a portable hard drive, like an actual hard drive, external spinning hard drive in 2020 is also very strange now. So it would have to be SSD.
We say this, but there was the 1.0 router.
Yeah, but that was 8 years ago.
That is an interesting...
Even then.
Yeah.
Even then.
Yeah. This is that router for A Realm Reborn, like for post Tanaka. Okay, anyways.
We should specify it's not a sticker this time.
It is not a sticker. It comes with it applied already, so you don't have to do that.
Fucking
Um,
bossed.
that sticker, by the way, I've been thinking about it. That sticker is pretty unique. Just the sticker, not the router, of course. But I wonder how many stickers like that exist of the like 1.0 logo, official.
Mm.
Watch
You can,
out,
like, take it
eBay.
off and scan it.
Don't sell it. That's the only reason you bought the router.
I didn't
Was
say sell it. I said
no one's gonna buy a 1.0. Well, someone will, but
I mean, look at you.
that is a very good point. But you can't. When I collect things, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna collect this and then I'll sell it later. But I never sell it because I will never part with it. It is mine. Anyways, 14 has been updated. October 27th, it's the Hotfix patch. The following adjustments have been made to the critical engagements in the Bozjan southern front. The recruitment time for Castrum Lacus Litore has been extended from 1 minute to 6 minutes.
Thank goodness.
We have witnessed that change, and it is okay.
yeah, it makes sense.
It's convenient. You can be in a sea and you don't have to worry about not having time to queue up for Castrum.
Yeah. In Kill It With Fire, visual patterns have been added to dead leaves' damage area to improve colorblind support. So that is, we discovered that as well. It's a very there's like a pattern now, like with the that's the cute Mandragora fight, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
So it has hearts in the red area and then broken hearts, I think, in the blue one.
Oh, I think I noticed that, but I didn't like process it at the time that this was an update.
The following issues have been addressed. Under certain conditions, NPCs were not displayed in the cutscene for Build on the Stone in New Game Plus mode. That's awkward.
What cutscene is that?
Build on the Stone?
Build on.
There's so many cutscenes in this game. There's no way
This
I'd
is
remember.
This is a gillionaire question. What,
that is unfair. For 1 point.
3 points. Sorry, it's
Okay.
it's
Yeah, surely
it's
this
a
is a hard
line
line.
round question.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I was genuinely curious.
Okay. Rollo, you get back to us on that, I guess, if you can find it. In Bozjan's southern front, monsters that were moving back to their own territory after moving too far away would attack players while moving. That has been fixed, and that is very nice.
It is very nice. It was very humorous, but it was very unpleasant while it did happen at the time.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the
when
quest
someone-
for.
What?
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, go on, Georgi. Finish, and then we'll hear
Oh,
we'll
I was
hear
just
the
gonna say-
conclusion to the quest. Yeah, go on.
I was just going to say that, like, when an enemy is moving back to its territory, you think you're safe. So the fact that they would just stop and attack you is terrifying.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, Rollo, Build on the Stone. Where is it from?
That's the quest right before the end of a Realm Awoken in 2.1 when you're talking to them in fillers and about to go into Mordona.
Okay, I see. All right.
Okay.
So Hoary
So
Boulder
nothing
was
even
missing.
noteworthy, I would say. But-
Hoary Boulder was missing. That's pretty big if he was missing. Okay. In Bozjan's Southern Front, some mechanics in critical engagement, the fires of war, were not functioning as intended. Don't know what that means. In rare cases, if you died while registering a lost action in Bozjan's Southern Front, you would lose said action. That's not
Rare
good.
cases.
The effect attributes and item level vary according to class, job, and current level. When equipped on the Bozjan earring, did not activate. Ooh. The description for the Bozjan... Oh, this is the saddest one. The description for Bozjan earring was increases EXP earned by 30% when level 80 and below. The correct description should have been increases EXP earned by 10% when level 80 and below. The effect increases EXP earned by 10% when level 80 and below was activated in a hotfix performed on October 15th, 2020. But they didn't update the text until now.
It is sad, but like I believe it never increased it by 30%.
No.
Now they're just telling you the truth.
10% is 10%.
I think when the earring was first added, there was no effect. And then they added the effect on October 15th. And then they updated the text on the 27th. Yeah. Sorry, Rollo. What were you saying?
I was saying 10% still 10%. So,
Yeah. It's still
if you somehow still have jobs left over at 80, when you or I think you just buy the clusters too. Or not the clusters, whatever the fucking actions.
Yeah. Okay, in Bozjan's southern front, countermeasures have been implemented for the following issue. The monster Feathered Rainbow in the skirmish Waste the Rainbow sometimes moved out of the battle area, making it impossible to complete. That must be infuriating. I've never seen that happen, but that is interesting.
So, is it just in a was it just in the perpetual state of being invincible?
I guess? Yeah? Maybe it's in like a reset state, and it just never gets back to its position. I don't know.
Maybe just range could only hit it because it was just outside the arena.
Oh yeah, because you can't attack the boss while being outside of the skirmish area. So it'll be outside but not resetting. So melee can't attack it. I'm assuming also ranged as well because it says impossible to complete. So it's just way out of its area. As this issue requires some time to address, we have implemented a temporary measure that reduces this occurrence.
I want to know what that is.
Yeah. Okay. There's another issue with the Bozjan Southern Front, especially for summoners, and it's the same. Is it the same case for scholars? I'm assuming the same.
I would guess so. It never affected me personally.
Okay. Issue with pets not following the characters. Since patch 5.35, hotfixes were implemented on October 27th, we have confirmed... since patch 5.35, hotfixes were implemented on October 27th, we have confirmed an issue which may cause pets to not follow characters when moving around the map. Up to now, we have received multiple reports that this issue is occurring in the Bozjan Southern Front. We're investigating this issue as a top priority to confirm exactly where this problem occurs. We thank you for your patience and sincerely apologize for any inconvenience this may be causing. Updated on October 28th, the hotfix was addressed to each duty worlds with no maintenance interruptions and completed at October 28th. Oh, so there's times 10. It started on 10 a.m. on the 28th, 10:50, and finished on 9:33 a.m. the same day. We sincerely apologize for the inconvenience caused.
It definitely did not start at 10:50 and end at 9:33. That would require going back in time.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I mean, I'm sure it's supposed to be October 29th.
No, I'm pretty sure the update was posted at 10:50 a.m. and the hotfix finished at 9:33 a.m. We have no idea when it started.
What a mess. Okay.
There you go. There we go.
That pet bug, though, was the reason. I was like Summoner in there for a while, and I was like, oh, this is cool. You know, get some Summoner XP in my main. And then I was like, why is my pet? I didn't realize what was happening. I was like, where's my pet? What happened? It just kept happening. I'm like, is this because of like the CEs? Do they just cancel?
Yeah.
Like, do they make you unsummon your pet or something? So I just fucking stop leveling Summoner.
You know what's funny, though? Because this happened actually on stream. Mela was so upset by this post, and he was like, I need a soapbox moment, because he couldn't vent on stream, on the show, and so Mela had misread this update and thought it was about minions, and he's like, they set this as top priority to fix minions. That's funny. I wish he was here and that we didn't have that discussion on the stream, and that he would just come in here and be like really, really upset about this update. That'd be really funny.
You can't even summon minions.
No,
you can't.
So there you go. Those are the updates to the game. Bozja should be better than ever now. So
go get your clusters.
Go get your clusters. Go get your coins.
Get your coins.
And your memories or whatever. Is that what we're gathering for the relic?
Memories.
Yeah. Okay, let's jump into some crossover stuff. Yoshi-P has recently done an interview with The Gamer.
.com.
.com. Oh yeah, .com. Not our like overlord, The Gamer, King Gamer.
No.
Yes, so it's about crossovers. And Yoshida again talking about his love for Blizzard. They're two sort of articles, but it's technically the same article, but it's you know, splitting it in two so that more fun.
Well, clicks. These two different topics are kind of related as well, so it's good that they released them at least in the same week.
Yes. So we'll start with the Blizzard one. Let's read it even. Final Fantasy XIV creative director Naoki Yoshida recently told The Gamer that he would love to do a crossover with Diablo or World of Warcraft. This isn't the first time he said this, by the way, but...
No.
Final Fantasy XIV creative director Naoki Yoshida would love to do a crossover event with Diablo or World of Warcraft down the line if that's something Blizzard would be interested in. Yoshida is a huge fan of Blizzard games, which is something the Final Fantasy XIV community is likely already aware of. As it stands, Final Fantasy XIV and World of Warcraft are two of the most illustrious and successful MMOs in history. A crossover event between Eorzea and Azeroth would be immense. That's not to say it's impossible, though. Final Fantasy XIV has already done crossovers with franchises outside of Square Enix, such as the acclaimed Yokai Watch collaboration that recently returned as part of patch 5.3.
Acclaimed?
Yeah.
Which is popular.
Yeah. The critically acclaimed Yokai Watch collaboration. So when Naoki Yoshida recently told TheGamer.com that he'd love to do a crossover event with Diablo or World of Warcraft, well, we can't honestly say that it couldn't happen.
If there's a comparable...
Do you mean...
I don't know if Yokai Watch is comparable to World of Warcraft.
I'm surprised he didn't bring up, like, Monster Hunter. Because that is a much bigger crossover, and it's permanent as well.
Yeah.
Do you mean just in terms of my personal aspiration? Yoshida said. I just asked him if there were any specific studios or franchises in the video games industry that he would be particularly interested in working on a crossover event with. From Yorha Dark Apocalypse to internal Final Fantasy crossovers. We've seen enough collaborations to know that there must be something Yoshida would love to work on. Diablo or World of Warcraft? Diablo or World of Warcraft? Yoshida whispers. Because I am a Blizzard fanboy! Yoshida explained that the team enjoys working on crossover events because it allows them to experiment with something new and removes the kind of repetition that might otherwise creep into continuous MMO development. It's reasonable to assume that lots of team members have different aspirations when it comes to which external series they'd love to see come to Final Fantasy XIV, but for Yoshida, it's Blizzard all the way. Yeah, we don't need to read. Okay, so this again. Do you think it'll ever happen?
No, I don't think so.
I mean, there's some, both the devs play each other's games. That's a known thing. Maybe. I feel like Blizzard would be the one to say no. I mean, I don't know company politics, but I think it'd be kind of funny because I feel like there's such different worlds. Like,
yeah,
what would they get in 14 from like World of Warcraft? Like, I don't know. Let's go to the panda place.
Pandaria?
Let's get the Pandaria.
Yeah, let's get a bunch of pandas. That's what we get. And then we send them, what do we give them? We'd give them
Mikote. It's always, that's our number one export.
They can't have it.
They don't deserve it.
We'll send them.
Send them
Rothgar.
Rothgar.
They already have that.
It's more bestial and it kind of fits some of their race.
Yeah, that's true.
They have Worgen.
They do, but we have nothing unique to send them other than cat girls and cat boys. So I'm sorry, but that's what you're getting, I guess, in this crossover. Aura, yeah, that could go. That could work.
Kind of like the. No, never mind. Yeah, I'm wrong.
I don't think they have a similar race to that, like half dragon, half human.
Mm.
Okay. Well,
What do you think is more likely, World of Warcraft or Diablo between
World
the
of
two?
Warcraft. Really? You'd
Yeah,
go Diablo over World of Warcraft?
I would say Diablo as well, Roller.
Yeah, because I feel like the overlap between okay, people who want something from 14 to be in World of Warcraft and people who want Warcraft stuff in 14 is a pretty niche thing. It would be cool just because it's so fucking weird and bonkers. But I feel like you could work a Diablo thing in more. And a lot of people who don't play MMOs also play Diablo, you know?
I don't know. Does Diablo's world blend in better with Eorzea than fucking Azeroth, a fantasy world?
Sure doesn't.
It's not a question.
Well, that's
It's
what
not
we
a
used. That
question
was
of
what we
how-
talked about earlier. As like,
Yeah, it was what we talked about earlier. But whether or not it actually happens is not a question of how compatible the worlds are. It's how likely the developers are to want to collaborate on the two.
Diablo is so grim compared to like World of Warcraft, though. Like, how in the 7 hells are they gonna get that in here?
I don't know. You mix it with some void stuff or something. Welcome to the Void Deep Dungeon, where you pick up epic loot and purples.
Don't make them like a fucking void like canon lore, because that'll make me really upset.
Chat mentioned this earlier, but like a Diablo deep dungeon type thing in 14 would be cool.
Yeah.
I feel like there's less work for them to bring World of Warcraft over to 14, because that's like the age-old question that people have been actually asking for. Like, you don't really see much of people asking for a Diablo crossover with 14.
That's how it surprised people. Because, like, I feel like, I mean, this doesn't matter, but I feel like people would be fucking mad at that happening in both games.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people, but there'd be a pretty vocal minority part, you know what I mean? Of like, oh, let's get this fucking anime cat boy out of my fucking.
That'd be funny. 14. It'll be a victory for us, because we'll be like,
it would be funny.
Enjoy our cat people.
But
You're one of us now.
It would be funny, but I don't think developers go into the idea of crossovers with the idea of making both fan bases angry.
Well,
I think what they want is to try and convince people to play the other game. I think that's less likely to happen with MMOs.
I think it is likely that none of this is happening.
Well, yeah.
I don't. That is my answer now. I don't think any of this is happening. Diablo is too too far away from like 14's like core values in terms of like world setting, and World of Warcraft is a competitor, and I don't know if Blizzard would even want to do that, because they're like, here's that second largest MMO that now has a crossover, and maybe some are like, wait, fuck, I am a weeb, and then they jump over to 14, because I think there's a lot of people playing World of Warcraft that are like, that's Tifa. Please, you've been quiet all day. Yes, so, yes, what was I saying? Yes, there is a secret weeb in every World of Warcraft player, and having a 14 crossover might activate them, and they'll leave World of Warcraft. That's my conspiracy theory. That's why we don't have a crossover.
I'm done being an orc. I just want to be a cute cat girl.
Yeah. I think everyone has that in them. They're like, why shouldn't I just be a cat girl? Why not? And that's how you win them.
I mean, I agree, but also I feel as if the kind of people that play like traditionally ugly races are not the kind of people that would make the switch over directly from like orc to cat girl. I think that's because I feel like if you're making an orc, you're not like concerned with what your character like looks like for the most part.
Well, that's because they know nothing. They don't know anything else, and then they're like,
yeah, but there are nicer looking races in World of Warcraft.
Yeah, but compare them to 14. Come on. And then
some people get
a WoW player's like, oh, I've played this goblin for so long, and then he just sees like this cat girl walking by. How's that even possible? And they're like, hello, I am from Final Fantasy 14, and he's like, what? and then he's converted. That's
What
how
if-
it works.
What if they did make this crossover, right? I said this last time, but it's not fucking Diablo or Warcraft. It's just Overwatch. They just put Winston in 14.
I don't think they would put Winston in 14.
Winston Overwatch in
I
14.
will say, they already have a gorilla model in the game, so
Exactly.
that actually makes it easier for them. But they have human models too.
You're skinning the Sasquatch gorilla model. Just put glasses on him.
Yes. Anyways, there you go. He wants a Diablo World of Warcraft crossover. I wonder if he's just saying that to be like, maybe this is promotion in its own right. It's like, maybe Blizzard fans read this interview and they're like, he's friends with us. He's one of us. And maybe that's another tactic to get them over as well. He doesn't even activate the inner weeb. It's more like, hello, I am a friend of all. And then they come in and they're like, oh. That's when that happens. Okay. Anyways, let's talk about Kingdom Hearts crossovers.
Yeah.
Square Enix fans have long thought that a crossover event between Final Fantasy XIV and the much-beloved Kingdom Hearts franchise seems to be a match made in heaven. SoaR and company would fit right in among the vast and varied world of Eorzea, and the storytelling potential for collaboration of this caliber is pretty much unprecedented in the games industry. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like a Final Fantasy XIV Kingdom Hearts crossover has the means of materializing, at least not right now, that is. TheGamer.com recently had the chance to sit down with Final Fantasy XIV creative director Naoki Yoshida, who expressed his concerns as to whether a collaboration of this kind could ever happen. Kingdom Hearts is not owned solely by Square Enix, but also belongs to
Disney.
Yoshida told TheGamer.com. For those unacquainted with the backgrounds of these series, both Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy are franchises associated with Square Enix. The difference is that although Final Fantasy is wholly owned by the globally renowned publisher, Disney has a stake in Kingdom Hearts. That's why you have Mickey Mouse and Goofy legging it around the place with Sora. In Yoshida's opinion...
what a diss on Donald.
Yeah. Donald who?
Why they skip him?
In Yoshida's opinion, the hurdle is considerably high when it comes to a crossover event of this nature, meaning that it likely won't materialize for as long as Disney has the partial ownership of the Kingdom Hearts IP. And let's be real. Oh, here he comes. Donald Duck isn't going anywhere anytime soon. Fortunately, Final Fantasy XIV fans were excited for future... Okay, yeah, so... There are other series that might show up in Eorzea down the line. They're teasing the other article. Sad, but we've talked about this before, so this is like not news for us. Not a surprise. If Disney owns it, you're fucked.
Yeah.
So,
which is a shame because like the part is that they're super like they have a fucking gorilla grip on like the Disney specific characters.
Yeah.
And but I don't know if you guys saw this recently, but they released that they're going to release that Disney mobile game in Japan.
I saw it.
Oh, I saw that.
Like,
yeah.
It's very like lots of liberties taking, and like Hercules is like fucking built and posing, and Mickey's in his dumb little outfit.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they probably just fully own that, but
yeah.
And the protagonists, they look a lot like Sora and Kai.
Yeah.
I thought one of them was Kyrie for a moment.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just not... Yeah, sad we can't have key... Well, I wonder what Square Enix owns. Like, do they... Because this is disputed. Does Disney own Sora now? Or is Sora Square Enix? Or is it a joint ownership of that?
I've seen Disney using Sora. I've seen an example of Disney using Sora themselves.
Wasn't he at Disney World one time?
Yeah, but
I don't think Sora ever was, but they have had Donald and Goofy in Kingdom Hearts outfits at Disney World.
I have a feeling though, haven't we seen a picture of Sora in a park?
Maybe it was
Disney a famous character of Sora.
Let's see if it's there's that horrible creature. Yeah. Like this fucking Is this real? Yeah, this fucking horrifying thing.
That's that's not a face character.
Sora
That's a
used to walk-
mascot.
Yeah, used to walk around Disney theme parks. Yeah, it doesn't
I was
matter, but he
expecting
was.
a face character. Why did they make him look like that? That's terrifying.
Yeah, that is terrifying. Yeah, so he's been in the parks, but I'm assuming it is joint that they both own SoaR because it is designed by Square Enix. I don't know. Is it?
It's a Nomura design.
Yeah, Nomura. I keep forgetting his name. Which would make it very strange that Disney owns, but it is Disney though. They're fucking snaking their way in, like they're owning like a little bit of everything, and meanwhile Square Enix, they don't really own anything. Like, is there anything they solely own in Kingdom
What do
Hearts?
you mean?
Like Disney
Kingdom
owns all of its
No, I don't
property.
think
Well,
any-
no, it owns its own characters that appear in the.
Well, they own the Final Fantasy characters.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah. So they have that, I guess, the redesigned Kingdom Hearts versions of Final Fantasy characters. It just sounds like a shitty deal. I don't know.
I mean, the
I would just
idea of
make so much
working.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the idea of working with Disney would have been like a really appealing proposition back in the day.
Back in the day, yeah. I think maybe if it happened today, they might have had a few. They might have been thinking a little harder on it than they did.
I don't know. I don't think Kingdom Hearts would exist if they were to try and come up with it today.
No. Well, there you go. That is collaborations. The Kingdom Hearts collaboration is dead. No big Sora boots. No Keyblade. No Donald Duck minion.
It'd be funny though. Imagine seeing Sora doing his really goofy PS2 animations in a Fate or something.
I don't want that.
Oh, imagine all the cool bosses we could have had in like Fates. That would be.
We could have
cool.
had Caesar.
Yeah. Oh,
Why Kurt Zisa?
we could have had. Oh God, there's so many good. We could have had. They could have brought. What's Baldy? What's his name?
Xehanort?
No, Ansem. The voice for Ansem. They should bring him back. I keep forgetting his name. Billy Zane. Come back just to voice a couple of lines for the Fate, and then we fight Ansem, and he says, "Submit." Just that. We could get a submit emote. Makes me really sad.
What if they made Xehanort with Ascians? That's a good one, chat.
Oh hell yeah!
They'll play
I don't like this anymore.
Make Kingdom Hearts canon in Eorzea. The void is light. Whoosh, but why? Okay. Anyways, let's leave that cursed idea behind and jump into our main story. We talked about like what interviews we wanted recently, and I mentioned Banri Oda, and they heard me because here's an interview with Banri Oda.
Of course, it is by Square Enix itself.
Yeah.
So I don't think you're going to get many 1.0 questions in here.
No. But it is an interview with him nonetheless, so here we go. Hello everyone, this is Mia from the promotional team. I work on the 14 team alongside producer and director Naoki Yoshida and the many other team members who are passionate. Oh, sorry, this is from the dev blog, by the way. Who are passionately working on all aspects of the game. As a member of the promotional team, I have many opportunities to connect with various staff, and I eventually came to realize I want to tell the players about this wonderful team. This is part 1, by the way, so it's interesting. We're probably going to get a lot of interviews from different people. Maybe I'll even get an interview with Komoto. That would be...
Oh.
Please. You're not going to ask 1.0 questions, though, so I don't know how exciting it would be for me, but just whatever. This led me to create the Final Fantasy XIV Backstage Investigators, a new blog series that will share some stories from the team members who work on Final Fantasy XIV. I hope that these posts offer some insight into the passion that the development team and operations teams put into the game. First subject of our main interview is main scenario writer Banri Oda. All right. Hello, Mr. Oda. Thank you for agreeing to the interview. This is my first interview, so I'm nervous. So please introduce yourself and tell us about your line of work. So... The way this is written.
Smiling.
So do you get like a fan fiction vibe when you read this? It's like, oh, was that the interview? Banri Oda smiling. My name is Banri Oda. Okay, so Oda is smiling here. My name is Banri Oda. Why did they put that in there? Isn't that weird? It's like, make it so that he's smiling. Because I don't think it's done again in the entire interview. It's just there. Okay, whatever. My name is Banri Oda. I have a leading role in both the lore team and the scenario team. I see. So the lore and scenario are handled by different teams. I guess it's safe to say you're one of the masterminds behind the world of Final Fantasy XIV. The Shadowbringer storyline reached its climax in patch 5.3, and I'm sure players had a lot of thoughts to share with you. How do you feel about finally reaching the climax of Shadowbringers? Oda. My first thought is just a feeling of relief that we were able to release the patch. Due to the situation with COVID-19, we experienced several major changes, such as working remotely to develop the game. On top of that, all sorts of adjustments... Oh god, it's this again. All sorts of adjustments occurred right before we were about to release the patch. It was a very hectic situation, and I was worried whether we would really be able to make it happen. But we were able to release the patch despite all that. So I'm just glad we were able to deliver something for our players to play. Main scenario writer Natsuko Ishikawa, who was in charge of the patch 5.3 main scenario, and all the staff members working on quests, cutscenes, and battle content were facing all sorts of hardships while working on the game. Having witnessed that, I'm very, very relieved to hear that players enjoyed the patch. Aside from the main scenario, we've received overall positive responses for the Sorrow of Warlit, Yorha Dark Apocalypse, Ishgard Restoration, custom deliveries, and tribe quests. We even tried out some new things in them, and we're glad they were well received. What were the new things? New things? Is there anything you can think of that's like struck you as new? Is this in terms of story? Is that what he's talking about, or is it just in overall? Even tried out some new things.
I don't know what's specific. A very general thing, I guess.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything specific that he's talking about. I guess the fact that Yorha's plotline is split from the start.
Yeah, maybe that. Yeah. Okay, indeed. All of them featured amazing stories, and the new gameplay aspects were really enjoyable. I could go on and on, but let's move on to the next question. Going back a little bit, I'd like to ask about your past. Before you started working on 14, were you always interested in writing stories? Did you have a similar role at previous jobs? Oda says, although I enjoy reading books, I'd never written a story before. To be honest, I'd never even considered working in that area of expertise. I previously worked as an editor and writer for a company that published game strategy guides, lore books, and fan books. One day, we were creating a strategy guide for an arcade game when it was decided to add an official short story at the end of the book. Originally, our plan was to hire a scenario writer, but complications arose that left us without a writer. We couldn't just leave those pages blank, so I said, I guess we don't have a choice, and gave it a try. We sent the plot to the developer and received their approval, so I just ended up writing the rest of the short story. That would be my first time writing a story, but I was just filling in and still hadn't considered working as a scenario writer. Sometime later, Square Enix posted an ominous job listing seeking someone who can write in Japanese, and I joined the company. I was thinking they were going to ask me to come up with the text for the official website or something, so it came as a surprise when the job turned out to be lore creation. My supervisor at the time asked, "You can write scenarios too, right?" And so I began writing the plot for side quests and such, which led to my current position. That's an interesting answer, because is he referring to 1.0? Is his supervisor Tanaka? Because that sounds like something he would say. That sounds exactly like how it was managed. He'll be like, "You can write scenarios too, right?" And he's like, "Yeah, cool. You're a main scenario writer too now." Okay. He wasn't the main scenario writer. That was someone else. I do remember that. Actually, so that would be his supervisor then.
Probably.
Yeah.
He seems to be just writing quest lore and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. This ominous job listing is funny. Someone who can write in Japanese. I'm sure it said something else, but I love that was like... that was the
What he
gist of it.
remembered?
If you can write Japanese, We need you.
I could have applied for that.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Sounds like it was fate. After joining Final Fantasy XIV, you've created countless stories and their settings, written the lore books, appearing on stage at fan festivals and other live events, and even oversaw some marketing projects that involved the main scenario and characters. Of all the things you've worked on so far, is there anything that stood out to you the most? Oda, it's hard to pick something as number one, but I'd say the live events have left quite an impression on me. There's a picture included here of Oda, Yoshi-P with like some fans around them. Photo from Gamescom 2019 in Germany. I've had the privilege of participating in the fan festival and other live events, and it's truly moving when you see the tremendous number of people attending the event and all their fervor. After all, I'm typically working at my desk and don't get to see that sort of thing. That said, I'm all the more eager to find out how we'll approach our next fan fest given the current situation. Yeah, interesting. Yeah. The operations team is working on that, so we hope you'll be looking forward to updates. It'll be great to have the opportunity to meet with players again after the situation has improved. Does talking with players translate into motivation for when you develop the game? Of course, it's a powerful source of motivation. Aside from meeting players directly, we've been receiving many presents and letters addressed to the development team and characters during Valentine's Day in in recent years. For members of the scenario team, our excitement swells when someone addresses a present to a character we wrote, or when players send us letters detailing their impressions of our work. So it's definitely a great source of motivation. Imagine sending a present to Thancred.
Many people do it.
It's like yeah. It's like sending a letter to Santa. I just want that to be on the record so you understand how, we can't just say, oh, it's because I'm sending it to Anime Man. No. Don't make fun of people sending letters to Santa if you sent a present to Thancred. That's all I want to say.
Thancred needed those chocolates. It was White Day.
I mean,
it is cute. It is cute. There is one key difference, because you're not sending chocolates to Thancred. You're sending it to the development team. So they're getting it. So, your letter to Santa goes straight in the trash.
You don't know that.
Your parents might keep them.
That's true. I guess I never thought about where they went.
And then they might show it to you when you're like 20 and they're like, look at you fucking moron, you wrote this.
Look at this stupid thing. Look at all the shit you wanted that we never gave you. We gave you coal year after year and we laughed.
Textbooks.
Okay. Anyways, there's a picture of all the stuff that they get. That's a lot of stuff, a lot of Santa letters being sent. When one of our younger scenario team members saw a letter addressed to their very first character, they were absolutely overjoyed. We've had similar heartwarming moments, and we're truly grateful for them. Who invented Santa? That is too big of a question, and we will not answer it here today.
Which character do you think this person's talking about?
The first character they wrote. I don't.
Moonbrida?
That's such a difficult question. Sorry, what?
Moonbrida, maybe?
Maybe. I know Moonbrida got like a couple in past years. I know there was a character that got only one.
Oh. Sorry.
But I remember it was like a joke.
What's
it might have
that?
been Ratartan.
Oh, yeah.
Well, what about that Mistel boy from Shadowbringers, the blue-haired one?
Oh,
Kaishir.
the Cockney.
Kaishir.
Yeah.
Maybe it could have been Kaishir. Depends on how recent this occurrence happened.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Teleji. It might have been Teleji Adeleji that got one, or Asahi.
Remember when they sent who got chopped into? Teleji? That's Teleji. Or is it Lolorito?
Teleji, yeah, it's Teleji.
When they sent one to the upper half and one to the bottom half. That's funny. Okay. That's very touching. So everyone, rest assured, our team members are receiving your love for the game in full. So then, I'd like to ask about some recent events as well. Do you have any interesting stories, anecdotes, or discoveries to share about the projects you're in charge of? In that sense, I have a funny story about dwarven decking. In patch 5.35, we added a new instance dungeon, the Hero's Gauntlet. Towards the end of the dungeon, a dwarven character named Gyot appears and deals massive damage to the enemy with an attack named Dwarven Decking.
I didn't know it was called that. Is it called that in English?
Well, there's an explanation here. The Japanese screenshot showcases Gyot's Dwarven Decking attack and features text that's included when the player has completed the Healer Roll Quest series. The English version is a good old-fashioned Dwarven Decking made mightier in exile. Creating an instance dungeon usually involves me coming up with the lore based on the main scenario, which I hand off to the level and monster teams to be included in the actual project proposal. So as usual, I prepared some references on what sort of enemies would appear in the Hero's Gauntlet, and Natsuko Ishikawa mentioned that it would be nice if the Crystarium guards and characters from Roll Quest showed up to lend a hand, since the final segment of the dungeon would take place in Lakeland. The remaining details were left up to the level designer in charge. In the following meeting, I was asked how these characters should participate in the battle, so I simply responded that it'd be nice if they fought alongside the players. As I was in charge of the Healer Roll quests, I was aware of the Dwarven Decking joke. However, I didn't want to give preferential treatment to a character I wrote myself, and bringing up a silly gag could ruin the seriousness of the dungeon, so I intentionally didn't mention it. Despite that, Ms. Ishikawa and the level designer in charge enthusiastically encouraged me to include Dwarven Decking in the dungeon, and we ended up implementing it. But then, when we got around to playtesting, Dwarven Decking dealt an absolutely ridiculous amount of damage, and I couldn't help but laugh. I wasn't sure if it'd be okay to implement something like that, but we left it up to producer director Yoshida, and Dwarven Decking ultimately became what it is now. So that's one funny incident that we've had recently. I feel like Gyot's character gained more depth as a result, and for that I'm very grateful. So, they must have... I don't remember this at all in the dungeon. Like, of that being like a big...
know this?
That it's a big deal?
It's when Gyot uses essentially a limit break on the paladin that's using... what's the wing attack for paladins called again? Passage of Arms.
Oh, yeah, right. Is that end last bit? Okay, I see. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's essentially Gyot using limit break against the paladin.
Right. Yes. On a different note, when our other scenario team members were playtesting the dungeon, the writer of the Tank Roll Quest mentioned in dismay, "If I knew this was allowed, I would have added a Granson kick or something."
Everyone laughs.
Everyone laughs. Okay. Okay, and now I'd like to ask about your tools of the trade. Is there anything you simply can't work without, carry everywhere with you, or find useful? Oda, my tools of the trade would be these. And then now he just shows off... Is that manga?
It's more than just manga.
It's just books. Just books.
He has statues of a turtle, a that's not a tyrannosaurus.
Oh, there are the dinosaurs that he loves so much. There's a dinosaur on there. He's the reason we have dinosaurs in 14.
I mean, one day.
Well, I'm happy he got what he wanted.
Yeah. When it comes to creating lore, you need to come up with names for thousands upon thousands of things, whether it be weapons, monsters, regions, actions, and more. Encyclopedias and historical references are extremely useful in this endeavor. You could even say I couldn't get anything done without them. I purchase new encyclopedias when necessary and don't always read through all the volumes, but I've always enjoyed history-related books, and I'm glad I already had them on hand.
I have to say, the idea of just reading encyclopedias, one, sounds very boring.
Yes.
And two, sounds like something I would do.
Oh, just reading like you have Wikipedia.
I know you have Wikipedia. That's what bewilders me.
Yeah, why would he...
specific detail stuff.
Oh, it's so hard. I remember having to look up like in an actual encyclopedia, and it is really awful. Like you can you kind of forget how horrible it used to be, because on Wikipedia there's like hyperlinks to everything. So if you read something, it just mentions something and it's blue, you can just click that and you get the information immediately. But if you read that in like a book encyclopedia, you're like, and then you find like Roman Empire, and then you're like, okay, I need to know what Roman Empire is. Now you go back to the fucking index trying to find, like, where's the Roman... Oh, no, it's not in this volume. It's in the 5th volume. I have to go to the 5th volume and read that. Horrible. Horrible.
Some people like that charm.
Yeah. I can see that.
Why aren't digital encyclopedias more common? Not in the sense of Wikipedia, but like PDFs.
Like curate, yeah. Like that's actually published.
There used to be like specific little gadgets, I guess, of like digital encyclopedias that they would release. I remember seeing those before.
Gadgets? Like an actual...
It's like a little PD.
no.
Reader? And it's just...
Yeah.
It was literally just a digital encyclopedia. I think my dad had some.
Like a Kindle that's exclusively just an encyclopedia.
Yes, but early 2000s, so like a really bad liquid crystal display kind of like the thing.
Oh god. That sound... I'm glad that didn't catch on.
Chat's talking about Microsoft Encarta and I'm getting nostalgic.
Oh, yeah. God, how simple. I feel like an old man. How simple life has become. All right. When it comes... Let's see. We're done with that.
On the other hand,
I had to relocate my workspace from the company office to my home, which meant bringing home all the resources I've been keeping in the office. The other day, I drove there and returned with about 5 cardboard boxes full of books. I think there were at least 150 books in all.
I've always wanted to be the kind of person that just has shelves of books, but I can't imagine buying that many.
Maybe when you settle into a place and you're older, but carting around that many books if you're younger and having to move from time to time is
a pain. Yeah. Oh my goodness, 150 books. If we return to working from our offices again, it'll be a struggle to bring them all back if we return. If. How ominous. I would assume you are returning to work in the office again one day.
I would hope. I mean, there's been a lot of showing that working from home has made people happier. So a lot of office places might end up deciding to continue just working from home. Of course, that's assuming they care about their employees.
Yeah. Like I've said, the world is going to be very different at the end of this. And it's going to be better. Less interaction with people. Perfect. My time is...
No, I want to bother people on the bus.
How about it, Rollo? This is my world now.
There'll be less people on the bus, Rollo. You'll have more space.
Yeah.
You won't have to sit next to a stranger. And if you choose to sit next to a stranger, you'll be shunned more because people will wonder, why are you not sitting on that free seat?
Yeah.
Sometimes you want a little company on the bus.
Not from a stranger.
I'm not a stranger. I'm a nice man.
All right. Since we're almost out of time, do you have any final words for players who are reading the blog? Oh, God, I see the name. I see it already. Again, the repeat offender. The COVID-19 situation had a drastic effect on our release schedule, and we unfortunately kept you waiting for patch 5.3. And yet, you waited for us during that time, and some of you even sent us words of encouragement. The development team faced myriad concerns in our new working environment, but your encouragement became our motivation, and I was very grateful for that. Many in Japan are still affected by COVID-19, and there are other places where the situation is even more dire. But even in these circumstances, we've received heartwarming messages from players all over the world, and so I'd like to take this opportunity to convey my gratitude. Thank you. Although this situation may persist for a while longer, it would make me truly happy if 14 can provide some measure of relief for you during these times. Thank you for joining us and sharing your delightful stories with us today. That is not him saying that, that's the interviewer. Okay, there you go. There it is.
I didn't know that he wrote the GI or the healer role class stuff. I was surprised.
No.
He writes a lot of the side stories now.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Because he's not the main scenario writer most of the time. He might have written 5.1 or 5.2. I know Ishikawa was not the lead on those two.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the interview. pretty what you'd expect from an in-house interview. Didn't really ask any.
I like the dwarven decking story.
Well, yeah, it's a nice story. Yeah, I wonder who they'll interview next. I hope it's not. It's not going to be Yoshi-P because that's like.
I feel like that's going to be like either if it's a continuing series, it will be like at like 10 or something. It'll be like an important number, or the final one in the series.
Yeah. What if they like surprise everyone and the last interview is actually Tanaka?
What would you say?
What would you
developer right now?
Hello,
What do you think
welcome.
of the game
How was it like to work on 14? Oh God, imagine. It would be crazy, but they would never do that because they don't acknowledge that even happened anymore.
No.
Right. Well, that is the end of the main story. That leaves us with MogMail, believe it or not. That's very exciting. We can actually read some MogMail. Let's just jump into it. Whoa. First one comes from Rikisma Ladair from Cerberus. Greetings, speakers. I had a few questions I wanted to ask you. First question. What do you guys want to see improved in 6.0? Like engine upgrade, gameplay changes, more quality of life updates maybe? Second question. What style do you guys want to see in 6.0? For example, in Ishgard, they're more of a European style. Werlit had a coastal style of building. So what is it that you guys want to see with buildings, armor, environment in the next expansion? Thanks in advance. Have a great show. Thank you. Your name is very difficult.
Rikyosma.
Thank you, Rikyosma.
Thank you.
Well, first question is one that comes up every now and then. I mean, I will always say engine. But it is. I know it is the most difficult one and the least likely to happen. There's stuff they can do with the engine that doesn't require a lot of work. Like, for instance, capes. I mean, I don't know how difficult is it for them to turn on like ray tracing. Because WoW can seemingly just do it. Minecraft can seemingly just do it. How hard is it for 14 to do it? I wonder. Because that makes games just look very next gen almost immediately. And it seems every time they like roll it out on an old game, it looks so simple. It's like, by the way, ray tracing. It's just a thing that happens. Like they did it to Fortnite, they did it to Minecraft, they're going to do it to World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft, which is older than 14.
See, I think it all comes down to the fact that World of Warcraft was not designed
It doesn't have
poorly
the spaghetti
when it was first made. Yeah,
but still, we make a lot of fun of 14's engine, but the engine is still pretty powerful. You have to remember, it is still a branch of the Luminous engine. It is heavily converted to 14's purpose, but it is...
Well, I think part of the problem with the Luminous engine is that it's very taxing.
It is.
It's like...
Which is why it's hardly the Luminous engine anymore. They've changed it so much, it's hardly recognizable as that anymore, but... It still has a lot of capabilities that they're not even using. Like, for instance, we know that it can do the physics. They've sort of turned it on for the veil in the for the wedding dress. Like, but it only works within. Does it only work within the chapel or in the church? Or does it work outside? Because I've seen that worn before. I just now realized that I don't remember if it worked. If chat.
I think it just works everywhere. Yeah.
So people can use the veil in open, and it's just moving around like it does during the wedding.
Yeah, pretty sure.
Really?
Unless I'm misremembering.
Okay. Chat. Can someone just put on the veil and try? No, it's only in the church and waiting room. Yeah.
Oh, is it?
They
Okay.
limit it to the church. Yeah, you get the shorter one. Yeah. So that's how it works. Yeah.
Okay.
So you can't use it outside. So it's there. It's even in the game right now, but they've limited it to like small instances. I mean, I understand why they can't just bring it back because they had to like remap like existing gear to have the same physics. They could also just go a new route and just go everything post 5.3 is going to have the physics now, and then we'll slowly implement old gear. They could go that route.
Got a cape slot.
Yeah. Quick Levin. The Odin thing. That's the one I've been talking about forever. That is so annoying because it was there in the beta. Then they were like, PS3 can't handle it. Turn it off, and now it just looks unfinished. Yeah. Sorry, who was talking? Sorry, I was distracted by Odin.
What I was going to say about the veal is that I think that it's possible that they're just implementing it in the church for now as a means of testing it and seeing how it affects like the server stability. And we might get to see it
6.0. Bring it, make that a feature in 6.0. Because they talk about like, oh, we need so many bones, but the bone isn't that different? Like the bones is what we currently have, where they put like a lot of bones in yeah. While the veil and the Odin cape like reacts to your actual movements, like it's like physics. And remember in 1.0, bringing it out again, they had a physics switch in the settings. You could turn physics off and it would go into like what I call a Realm Reborn mode, where it's just like barely flapping. It's like the repeating pattern that you get from when you use gear in a Realm Reborn. Or you turn it on and it reacts to what's actually happening. Like if you're moving around in a weird way, the things will move weirdly. Physics in a 2010 game. Terrible game, but still. That's what I want. And ray tracing. Just turn on ray tracing too. That's easy. Sure. That's easy, right? Just do that. Turn on ray tracing.
I don't know about that.
I don't.
No, I don't know.
I think Reshade lets you use it.
Oh, does Reshade have that now?
I think.
Interesting. I wouldn't be surprised because you could use ray tracing on Minecraft long before it became officially supported. Okay. Anything else you want to see?
I keep saying this one, but please add rangefinders. I really just want to know the actual size of every AoE for my skills.
Yeah.
Or the line AoEs. Because some of them, like Asylum, Sacred Soil, you know exactly where you are. Okay.
Yeah.
Total Eclipse, not Dark Passenger. It's not even in the game anymore. Flood of Shadow.
Yeah,
you know, like it's a line AoE, but I need to see the square, not like the particle effects.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, you get used to it, but it's just.
In regards to range, I'm surprised there's not even like any kind of training arena that says this is 1 yarm, this is 2 yarms, this is 3 yarms. There's no way that you can, unless you can only guess how much these distances are.
Yeah. You have to like, that is so bizarre because it says yalms and moms in the tooltip. Like,
I hope not moms.
Not moms. That would be very But still, like yalms, like a fictional unit of measurement.
It's just a yard.
But as a European, a yard? What is a yard?
You know what would be cool too? Maybe see aggro ranges too. Like just see how close you're allowed to get to a mob. Not the overworld.
I think they kind of want to reduce HUD clutter. Like if there's too much on screen, it'll be very much. It'll be very much.
You know what? Then let me turn off other people's damage numbers.
The problem.
Let me turn that off.
Yeah. I will say the problem with aggro ranges is that aggro range changes depending on your level.
Well, I mean for instance stuff, not for
Yeah, right.
overall.
Dungeon run, for instance.
Because like if
Okay, instant
like, if
stuff I
I'm-
can understand more.
if I'm doing Savage or something, and we're gonna do our pre-pull shit or whatever, like sometimes you need to know how close you can get.
Mm.
And again, you can figure it out by just testing it before the boss fucking kills you.
Yeah.
It'd be nice information to have though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. That's like always been like a thing for this game. It's like trying to add stuff to the HUD, more information. It's always been a thing. Remember the battle for the TP gauge on the party list? The PS3 just wouldn't have it. And then we got
So
it
that-
for like
take it out.
3 patches, and then they removed it.
A current problem that I've noticed is that any Bozjan lost action
Mhm.
that has a cooldown
Mm-hmm.
cannot show the cooldown in a number. It can only show the ticking clock because it can't have both the cooldown number and the amount of charges you have left at the same time in those squares.
Right.
That's definitely a good one.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let's go into the second question. What style do you want in 6.0? Well, I kind of already think we know what kind of style we're getting.
Yeah.
We're getting like Dalmascan, which is like Middle Eastern meets Western style. The Evilesian style, I guess, is what we're getting.
Mhm.
Um,
But I feel like that would only be half of it. I'm expecting like 3 evolution zones max.
mm.
And I'm kind of expecting only 2, to be honest.
Well, we don't really know. Well, they've mentioned multiple location names, so it depends on which one of these are going to be cities.
But yeah, and how many of them are just going to be instances?
Yeah. They might have
Because
just been
I'm not-
mentioning dungeons that we're getting in 6.0.
Because I'm also, I mean, there are places that we just have never been. We've never been to Nagsha.
Yeah, true.
Because I'm also expecting that we're going to see some locations that are on like the Wurlet side of Ilsabard
Mm-hmm.
that will have a similar architectural style like that.
Yeah. Which is like
I'm just
still
figure-
giving me weird like 8 vibes. Still that part of the world. But I'd really like it. I really like the Turncliffe stuff.
I'm just worried about when we get to Garlemald because Garlemald's ugly.
Garlemald is ugly. It is. Very
I mean,
ugly.
maybe we'll see like.
Well, we've only seen we've
Or an
only seen the Imperial capital. We haven't really seen Garlemald, like the outer districts, because the capital looks like shit.
It's like very. I mean, I don't know if anyone else noticed this, or maybe it was just me. Has super high ceilings.
Yeah,
Like weird. Like I know Alamigo did too.
Mm-hmm.
But from the little we saw, it was like fucking cave. It was
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
I mean, it might just be an MMO thing, but I don't know.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to get like, because you get the late Roman Latin shit going on with Garleans. It'd be cool to kind of see that a bit more in game, presented with architecture, but like maybe with more metal, I guess.
Yeah.
Kind of make a little spin on it.
Mm-hmm.
If
We've
I had
got
the
it.
option.
Yeah. What?
I was just going to say we got a taste of it when we had that instance as Justinian inside the palace.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. The high walls.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
very. It was just weird to me. I don't know.
I don't really have a good like impression of what the rest of Garlemald looks like architecturally, because we really spend most of. There is that one moment when Xenos is standing on top of the building, looking out over Garlemald, like the capital. You can kind of see what the house, and I can't remember what they look like right now. There's like just a lot of houses. I wonder what. Yeah, I want to see more of Ilsabard, please. 6.0. Bring more Ilsabard stuff as well. Don't leave us in the east for this whole expansion, because we need to go north now. It's time.
I mean, there's a part of me that's like, we have only 3 Athardian zones. It's very weird.
That's enough.
But it feels that way still.
if I could pick something different that we like, somewhere we're obviously not going to, but I could just pick a theme. I think kind of like a little Pueblo Mesa style would be kind of cool. You know, like a
Yeah.
Southwest
Yeah.
state kind
I
of
feel,
vibe.
I feel as if I'm more likely to see that in either the New World or Mirror City.
what
I
I
feel
think
as if
as
that's
well.
not going to come up in at least Ilsabad.
No.
Yeah, and that's just like if I could just have whatever.
Yeah.
That'd be easy.
Yeah.
We're not saying Wild West though. That's something else.
I wonder, since it's north, is it gonna have any northern European stuff?
Possibly.
Because we haven't
If
seen
we
any of
see-
that.
Because I don't know, I feel like the lore for the Helions,
Yeah.
Helion Rothgar sounds kind of like that. So
Yeah.
if we go somewhere that they come from,
I mean,
we
the
might see a little bit of that.
the name is Norse, Hrothgar, so
Mm.
there must probably be some northern influences
And
there.
aren't there like the Snow Viera, like the ones that don't live in the jungle? Don't they
Mhm.
have similar sort of
Yeah.
culture?
They do, apparently, yeah. So okay, yeah,
They're like Icelandic kind of names.
yeah,
isn't that?
yeah. They're using. Well, that's on the first,
Well,
isn't it?
isn't that just the ones on the first? I thought the
Wait,
I thought the
wait.
Icelandic Viera were the ones on the first, and then
Yeah,
Was it?
and
Okay.
same with the Hrothgar on the first, or whatever they're called there. They have like Nordic names, like Ragnar and Magnus. Like there's
Okay.
yeah.
Mm.
Don't know what the naming convention is in. Oh, they're more like Eastern European sounding, actually.
Balsagen.
Yeah, that's not a Nordic name.
Okay.
But the Hrothgar is Norse though, so it's weird because it's not called Hrothgar on the first. They're called something else.
No,
there.
they're called Runso.
Runso, of course, Runso. Yeah, so weird. Right. Magnus is a very famous Norwegian name as well, Cafe, because it's all of our old kings used to be called Magnus. Not all of them, but many of them. So yeah. Yeah, we'll see what we get. I guess Dalmascan, Northern, and Roman probably styles.
I'm also still expecting that one of our like entryway cities, like the main city state that we start off in, is going to be Razat Hands. So we might see some Thavnarian art aesthetic, which I guess would be similar to what's the name of the map dungeons for Stormblood?
Oh,
Sorry.
Thavnair.
Bless you.
No,
Thank you.
No, not
Shifting
Thavnair.
altars of-
Uznair.
oh, Uznair. Yeah.
So like that might be a taste of what we can get if we end up going to Razat Hands.
Okay. Right. I was gonna say something. Oh yeah, about Razat Han. It's while I think it is likely that's gonna happen, it's kind of weird that that's happening now and not when we're going to Marasidia, because that's kind of on the way to Marasidia as well. But
It's not really. It's because it's
depends
if you
on
look
where your
it's
port
placed,
is, where you leave from.
because it's like further north than like the southern point of Beorzea.
Yeah, but
if you look at a map.
I don't remember the map of Eorzean right now. Okay, I'm gonna check that now, so that I know that I might be thinking about Vanadil and not Eorzea right now. That happens because there's an island down. Let's see. Oh, why are all the maps like just? Oh, because I searched Eorzea, not Heidelin. We're staying here until I've done this chat, and you're gonna love every moment.
Well, now I need to try and find a map of it as well.
Everything is so far away.
They should have
Well,
cowboys.
entertain them.
Okay. So one day.
Oh yeah,
as a
it is.
child-
It is a lot higher up than I remember.
Yeah, that's why I don't think it's necessarily a good entry point into Marasidia.
So if you Google Vanadil, this is what I've done. On the map of Vanadil, there is like an island there, and I thought that
That was Thavnir.
That was Thavnir. So like, okay, well, what if I just open like accidentally clicked a pop up or like an ad there, and I just opened like a fucking tit. I thought the right side is. Did you see how similar it is to Heidland, by the way?
Yeah.
It is spooky.
I can sort of see it.
I will say, Thavnir is bigger than I thought it was. It's about the same size as Vilbrand. I thought it was smaller.
Oh yeah. That is yeah. All right. Anyways, I don't know why we're here. Yes. All right. The Thavnir. Right. Let's move on. Thank you. Rykos. No. Yeah. Rikyosma. Thank you. Sorry for butchering your name. Next. I know this one. Meili Algren from Fairy. Dear speakers, I was diving deep into a YouTube hole on my symbolism in science fiction, and it got me thinking about the symbols of Eorzea and those found on Hydaelyn, and the first in general. What are your impressions of the flag/symbols used to represent each of the major nations and corporations/organizations, such as the Ironworks or the Adventurers Guild of the First and the Source? Which are your favorites and why? Are there any changes you might make to any of them? I've attached links. There were no links when I checked this originally, but it doesn't matter. We'll remember. Finally, I know you all know this one, this on some level, as it has been mentioned before, but it isn't often said. I genuinely appreciate having this show as a regular part of my week. It adds a bit of stability to the otherwise chaotic world that we all are living in right now. So thank you to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Of course, we are the symbol of stability.
Absolutely. Usually here around the same time.
Yeah. Okay. Favorite symbols, flags.
I need to look at them all again.
Coats of arms.
I find Garlean's.
Yeah.
No, you go first, Rolly.
Off the top of my head, big fan of the Alamigo one. Just because I like it's a very nice
I do like it as well. I like it. Yeah.
It's nice. It looks really nice to me.
It does look really nice. I like Ul'dah because Ul'dah shows its history kind of in its symbol with the weight, the scales, and then the flame from Belladaya, no, from Sildi, and the other one.
Flame is from.
No, flame is from Ul'dah, and the
gem is from.
Sildi? Is from Sildi. Or is it the other way around? I don't remember. Well, it doesn't matter. It is one of each sister nation. That was one nation. It's sort of all summarized in their symbol in a way. Yeah, I think Gem is Ul'dah. That makes the most sense. Yeah, because they were all about the money, and then Sildi was all about the might, the power. Yeah.
I think that I find the Ishgardian crest really busy.
The Ishgardian crest is really, yeah, it is very busy. It's very like old medieval European though. Like it has to have all the houses that represent their kingdom. But I kind of like that because it has, again, that history in it. Like, because each crest has its own history as well. So if you look into them, they all have their own. It's a lot of history in one banner or in one symbol.
Yeah.
I like Redania's as well. It also shows the history. It has that. All of them have history, but Redania especially because of Galmora. It is used the Galmoran symbol as a base, but they've changed because Galmora had like two serpents entwining like I don't know what's in the middle. It's supposed to be like it's like a I almost want to say wheat, but it's not wheat. It's like something. It's like some sort of flower, I think, in the middle, and the serpents representing the Hearers and the Elezen coming together in a time of need. They've essentially taken the serpents and put that in their own symbol. I don't know what is the rest of. I don't remember what Redania's crest looks like.
It is just the serpents and the flower in the middle.
Yeah, but they're using a different flower. than they did in the original. No, yeah. This isn't a. Is this supposed to be a flower, or is that? Oh yeah, it's supposed to represent the. Oh, remember it. You did an episode on it.
You can do this.
When they first communed with the elementals. That's
Oh.
I don't remember the exact wording of this, but I think that's what that middle symbol is supposed to be. But I don't remember what it is. I don't know what exactly that is. But the Gelmoran one is completely. It's like different. It's just a. It looks like like a bouquet of flowers in the original one.
Okay. On a note of which ones I don't like, I really dislike the Ironworks logo.
Yes.
I think it's such a vibrant orange.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't like the Crystarium
Really?
symbol.
I need to look at the Crystarium logo. I haven't looked at
It
that
looks
for
like a
while.
theme park logo. I don't know. It just doesn't look
yeah, it
like.
does kind of.
Yeah, it's too like showy. It's like wow. It's like having the Disney castle in your logo. Like it's very.
I think I like it for that reason. I think
that
I
it
understand why
looks
you
like a
don't
theme
like
park
it, but
logo.
yeah.
It's just a weird flag for like a city state. But yeah, it's fine. Yulmore is ugly. I find it incredibly ugly. It's just a fat crown with like pink and gold, and then some fucking over the top wings below. Horrible.
I think it's just really on the nose. Just
yeah,
a little too like. Okay, I
Has
get
that
it.
always been their logo? Because the inclusion of the wings is very weird in the era of if it existed before the era of Cineators.
Oh yeah, that's true. I don't know what the original one would have been if that's the case.
Do you remember the pirates from the Ruby Sea? They had some really cool flags.
Oh,
They were like little tapestries almost, like words on them and like other things. It was kind of a mishmash, but it looked pretty cool.
yeah. Was
The
that the Confederacy? Wasn't it? Yeah, that was. Can I see their flag? Or their flags even?
Yeah, they don't have a standard one, I think.
No, there's just a bunch of them. Yeah, so there's Confederacy. So like, oh wait, they did have a. This wiki claims that this is a flag, and if that's the flag, then
That's very busy.
I mean, I think
that's a lot.
I wouldn't say it doesn't look like a logo. It looks more like a banner.
It's what they use on
Like a
their
tapestry.
sails. They use it on their sails as well, so they look like that. They have
Oh wow, that's really complicated to have as a sail.
yeah. Weird. Yeah. Okay. Well, most flags in 14 are very good, though. I think they represent their nation very well. They know.
They're also pretty good at picking colors that don't conflict with other ones.
Yeah. What happened? So about Alamigo. I specifically remember that the resistance used a different flag, and that was the flag they flew at the end of Stormblood. What happened to that? Is that not the official flag? Is that like just become a flag of the revolution? And that
Possibly.
because usually when there is a revolution, the flag of the revolution kind of becomes the flag of the nation. But
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, they did have a different flag, didn't they?
yeah,
Alavegan Resistance. It was like a weird.
yeah, it was
purple
weird.
pendant with like a
Oh, yeah,
star in
this
the
one.
middle.
Yeah,
Here.
Ah, yeah.
Oh yeah. it's
you can still find it in the
Interesting.
overworld, I think. So, but yeah. So I wonder if that's like, is that just another flag that they have now, or you know what? I think they just don't care. They don't care
Yeah.
about
I
mean,
it. They want us to forget
They don't care about-
this.
They don't care about Alamigo.
No, they don't. The Griffin, the Griffin is supposed to represent the royal family. The fucking so weird.
Quickly, also the Charlatan logo. I like how the name is incorporated into the shell pattern on the Nautilus.
Yeah, text and flags. I've never been a fan of that, but yeah.
I think it looks nice here because of the fact that like Eorzean doesn't look like English to us.
That's true.
Kind of disguises the fact that it's text.
That's true. I agree. Okay. Well, that is that's that. We are spoiled with when it comes to flags because they're all very, very well made, except for a select few. That is the end of the show, by the way. Hope you enjoyed, and hope you stay tuned if you're watching live for the post show. We have questions from the Syndicate, and we're gonna read spooky story, because it is Halloween. Thanks for watching. Remember to follow on Twitter at SpeakersXIV, twitch.tv/SpeakersOfHeidelin, youtube.com/SpeakersXIV, exclamation Discord in chat if you want to join our Discord server. If you want to send MogMail at speakersxiv.com/MogMail. That's what I meant to say. And we'll be back same time, same place tomorrow, next week. And if you're watching live, remember, post-show. It's a common, whether you like it or not. So we'll see you there. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.